People overestimate what they can do in 1 year, but underestimate what they can do in 10 years. On today's episode, we'll hear from Remek Siudziński, who is not just an accomplished ultra cyclist himself, but also the organizer of a brand new ultra cycling event launching in 2021, the Race Around Poland. It traverses 2,200 miles or 3,554 kilometers and climbs 33,000 meters or about 100,000 feet. While we discuss Remek's solo races in the Race Across America, Race Around Austria, and Race Across Europe, we also dive deep into the route, details, and logistics of his upcoming event, catered for racers coming from all around the world with a fun twist and innovative format that you'll be excited to learn about. I'm your host, Justin Tu. Let's roll. Hey, Ultra family, Justin Tu here, your host of the Ultra Cycling Show. Thanks for tuning in for today's episode, where we get to chat with the race director and organizer of a new ultra event in Poland called Race Around Poland. And I'm very excited to chat today with Remek Siudziński. Remek, thank you for joining me on the show today.
Hi, Justin. Hi, everybody. Thank you for inviting me to the Ultra Cycling Show.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you to talk about not only your achievements as an ultra cyclist, you're very accomplished, but also about a new and exciting ultra cycling event that you're offering not just to people in Poland, but also to all of us around the world, right?
Yeah.
So I am excited to go over that and much more in today's episode. Give everyone a flavor of what to expect in this episode with the Race Around Poland. Very nice website, very well done. And for us here in America and other English-speaking countries, it is nicely written here so we can all understand and learn more about the event. So we'll get to that. Of course, there's many photos that you've sent as well, including your Race Across America. And so before we dive into a sprint round of questions, I do want to point out some of your noticeable achievements to folks. You did compete in the Race Across America in 2014. You've also participated in the Race Around Austria in 2012, 2013, 2016, and 2018, in addition to the Race Across Europe, as well as many others through all the years that you were preparing, especially specifically for the Race Across America.
Yes, exactly.
So well done with all of your achievements, Remek. And I'd love to turn now to a short sprint round of questions so we can get to know you in a nutshell with a series of questions that you could answer just in a few sentences, just a fun way to get to know you. First question is, of course, how long have you even been riding bicycles?
How long? I think for 40 years. Yeah. Now I am 46. So probably it must be at least 40 on the bike.
Cool. Yeah. Now, how long have you been an ultra cyclist specifically?
Ultra cyclists. Coming back to definition, who is the ultra cyclist? What is the ultra cycling event? In my definition, this is the distance longer than 500 kilometers. Yeah, and so my first 500 kilometers plus event was in 2010.
All right.
It was Bałtyk Bieszczady Tour, something like a race across Poland. The distance was 1,008 kilometers.
Oh, wow. Okay, so very nice event there in Poland, in your home country. Of course, you're in Warsaw, the capital of Poland. And so you consider ultra events from, you said, 500 kilometers? So
yes.
So in mile terms, for us Americans, that's 310 miles. So about a triple century, what we call it. So that is a very good distance. That is, well, I guess it could be anywhere from maybe perhaps 15 plus hours. Now, how many bicycles do you own, Remek?
How many bicycles? One-time trial and two road bike. So three bicycles.
Okay. Which of those is your favorite one?
My favorite one, probably one of these road bikes. This is quite old bike because this is my trek domain
Nice.
Remember my race across America participation.
Oh,
So
cool. Okay.
yeah.
So you rode that Trek bike as part of your Race Across America.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay. What bicycle computer do you use for your rides? Do you use a Garmin or a Wahoo or some other?
Yes.
Garmin?
Garmin Edge 1030.
Right, right.
I like Garmin equipment. So I have also power meter by Garmin. I like this environment.
Right. Okay. Yeah, a good ecosystem of products. And so you mentioned a power meter. So when you train or when you race, do you worry about power and your functional threshold power at your FTP?
Yes, I am worried about it. I liked it because before I started using power meter, I used to rely on speed, for example. But speed is depend on the surface and mountain or the wind. But power express your effort. It's better.
Right. Much more consistent, and you can get a better idea of how you're performing and also structuring your workouts. So I'd imagine then you also structure your workouts based on your power?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, very good. Now, when you're riding Race Across America or a race there in Europe, what are your favorite ride snacks to eat while you're riding?
I like gels and Nutri drink. This is something like liquid. It's similar to Ensure Plus.
Right. Okay.
But different producer. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And for the gels, what brand of products do you use out there in Poland?
I like Power Gym and Agisco gels.
Oh, okay. I've not heard of them. I wonder if we have them here in the US.
It's made probably in Spain.
Okay. Oh, cool. Yeah, I'll have to check it out
I
someday.
tested it. I tested it in the race across America and also isotonic drink by Power Gym. I drank it a lot of amounts, and I am still living. So probably they are not very
funny.
not very bad. And I am using them for 10 years or something. So,
Yeah.
And if something work, I didn't change it.
Yeah. Like they say, if it's not broken, why fix it?
Yes, exactly.
So very good. And I'm sure we're all about the same. It takes some time to get to the point where you figure out a good nutrition strategy for yourself. But once you do, then, you tend to stick with it. Now, that's very cool. Nice to learn about. A follow-up question for the gels. So did you actually ship all of them over here for the Race Across America, or were you able to buy it here somewhere?
It's partially I buy in the America, partially I get from Poland. So I have this Agisco and Power Gym have from Poland, but the rest I just bought in America.
Right. Okay, cool. Now, how about when it comes to your favorite post-ride meal after a nice long, hard ultra event? What do you like to eat? Is there a certain Polish dish or just something else that you like?
It is not very healthy dish. It's French fries. A lot of French fries. I am lover of French fries. I love preparing French fries from potatoes for my whole family, and
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time and hours watching, for example, Tour de France in TV and preparing potatoes and just frying and eating. So this is the family ceremony.
That's cool.
I know this is not very healthy, but
Yeah.
once a month I can do it.
Yeah, no, that's very unique. No, I like that. First time somebody said that. And so when you prepare these French fries, what do you put on them? Do you pile them with all kinds of stuff?
Uh, Sometimes with cheese, sometimes only with salt.
Wow,
And
okay.
they are so tasty, pure
Yeah.
French fries, that I don't need ketchup or something.
Yeah, yeah. No, sounds delicious. All right. So will there be some of your famous Remek French fries at the start line of or the finish line of Race Around Poland?
Why not? Good
Yeah.
idea.
Maybe that'll be a
Oh,
good marketing
I
strategy.
have to think about this.
Yeah, us Americans like French fries also. So if you do that, maybe you'll get more American riders registering.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks for sharing that. That's a lot of fun. Now, when was your last ride, a race or a training ride, and how long was it?
It was last Saturday, and it was not very long. It was for 60 kilometers,
Okay.
because now there is recovery time. Yeah, till the
Ah,
end of October, I
hmm.
am just in the off season, and from the November I will start the next season for the next year.
Okay, so you're in off season, but you did still a nice about 37-mile ride for us Americans, so that's nice. And there in Poland, I'd imagine it gets cold during the winter time, which we're approaching, right?
Yes, this is the winter time. No, this is not snow. It's I can see how happen uh, in outside, and there is rain now in the Warsaw, and
Oh,
about
okay.
10 degrees Celsius.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it's
Not
not
too bad.
not very good weather. So
Hmm.
I just think about establish my indoor cycling
Right.
mechanism, and starting
Yeah.
spinning on Zwift or something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We've had a number of riders on the show. Chris Hopkinson is one, Mayank Tripathi,
Yes, I
both
know.
love indoor cycling. So guess you'll be able to join them in the virtual world.
Yeah.
Okay, so Remek, do you prefer climbs, descents, rollers, or flats?
Uh, it's strange because I am not a very light rider, but I love climbing.
Oh,
Even so, this is
interesting.
like I like. Unfortunately, in Warsaw, there are no mountains.
Hmm.
The highest hill has 22 meters, 22 meters of elevation. But
Wow.
some years ago, I did Everesting on this hill, so I had
No
to.
way.
Uh,
Wow.
I had to make 400 loops on this hill.
Wow.
It was strange.
Wow, that I think should be a record in itself. Just the number of laps that you have to do, the number of intervals of the climb. So 22 meters, so that's for us Americans 72 feet. So that's
Yeah.
hardly anything. Of course, Everest, and you need at least 29,000 feet. So that's pretty incredible. That must have been a very dizzy ride.
Yes. The loop has 1 kilometer. Yeah, so uh,
Okay.
500 meters up,
Yeah.
500 meters down, and
Yeah.
again.
Wow.
But it's interesting because it's in the center of city, and a lot of local cyclists went and
Hmm.
accompanied me in this challenge.
Oh, okay.
So it was really fun.
Yeah, no, glad you're able to have some fun with that with your local countrymen there. Now, how about going downhill? Are you pretty comfortable going downhills, technical ones, going fast? What's your
Uh,
maximum speed going downhill? Do you
mm,
know?
I am not very fast rider if we are talking about downhill. my highest speed is about 80 kilometers per hour. 80.
Okay.
So not very much.
So
I try to cycle in a safe way, because I have a family, children, so I train to have good power and endurance. But in case of downhill, I am not very bold.
Yeah, and it is true, I suppose, through different stages of life. I know when I was in my younger years, then of course I also was more carefree when it came to the sense. But now, as a newly minted father of a 7-month-old, I do consider that myself as well.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, very cool. Okay, now when do you enjoy riding the most there in Poland? During the fall, the winter, the spring, or the summertime?
The summertime, I think, is the best. So that's why we established the race around Poland to July, when there is the high temperature and the daytime is the longest.
Right. Now, what time of day do you prefer riding and training? Morning, afternoon, evening?
Mostly I train during evenings. Because I have a professional work, and also I want to have time for children, for family. So when they go sleep is the best time for going training. So they go, for example, at 9 p.m., 10 p.m. And also I establish the weekly training events for local cyclists, and they are mainly in the evening. So if somebody is the same situation, that he or she has children and work, so this is the good time for cycling, especially that in the evening the traffic is less, and also the cyclists with lamps is with flashing lamps is more visible, even comparing to the day. There are a lot of cars, a lot of bicycles, and it's very easy for accident.
Yeah, that's actually very true, and an interesting point that you raise. Having the lights during the evening time does help with some visibility, since you could see even those lights better, especially if your lights aren't very bright. And interesting that you ride during the evening as well, because of the different logistical constraints of everyday life, work, family. And it is true, the challenges of being an athlete, not just the training and the riding and preparations, but also balancing the rest of your life. So I'm glad you brought that up. It is true, and every ultra cyclist, depending on where they are in their stage of life, they do have other obstacles that they have to overcome. And so doing all that you've done as well with the Race Across America and all of the other events there in Europe, it is a great achievement, considering that you're not a paid professional that is just focusing on riding. So hats off to you and well done on all of that. Last two questions in the sprint round, and then I'd love to turn our attention also to the race around Poland and more of the specific details. I wonder, Remek, what do you think? Does ultra cycling, in all of your years of experience now, does it require more physical or mental training?
I think both, and also mental and physical are important, because sometimes ago I used to train mainly physically. Yes, but I remember that one day I have heard about the sentence talked by Christoph Strasser, that the success consists of three objects, and they are on the same importance. So physical preparation, mental preparation, and team. So after DNF in Race Around Austria, I decided to pay more attention to mental preparation and employ a mental coach. And it was better than adding more hours in the week to the physical training. So especially when the time for training is limited, this is the good hint for the cyclist, maybe resign from some hours of physical preparation and starting preparing mentally.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It's very important to balance all of those things. And of course, with the very long distances like what the race around Poland will be, the race across America, it also does require that team effort as well. And from these photos that we're looking at here, it does seem as though you've had quite a nice team as well through different events.
Yeah.
I know we're looking at a race around Europe, there's a race across America and other events that you've done. Very nice photos. And I did want to point out, there's something very special about these photos because your photographer is actually a very well-known professional there in the country, right?
Yes, exactly. Jacek used to be the photographer of Polish president. So
Wow.
you can see this black and white photos, which are very very professional, and I like them very much, and this is very good to have it like memory from this races.
Yeah, fantastic memories. So tell me, Remek, what in all of the events that you've done, what has been your favorite one?
My favorite, of course, Race Across America, because this is the legend, and because I was preparing to this event for 10 years, and it was my dream, and the way to achieve it was also very interesting, because during this way I made race around Austria twice. The next thing is that nature and mountains of United States are incredible, and deserts, mountains. It's legend. I think this race is the legend. And when I was cycling through the States, I felt this is my my place, my second home, and I really want to make it again, and
That's
improve
awesome.
my result. So this is something what motivates me to training.
Yeah, no, that's great. We'll definitely welcome you back here in the US. Would love to meet you here in
Oh,
Oceanside, California. So in 2014, what was your result for your first RAM?
yes, it was my first RAM, and I made it in 11 days, 19 hours, and 33 minutes. So just
Fantastic.
in time, because time limit was 12,
Yeah.
12 days.
Well, very nicely done, Remek. And thank you
Thank you.
for going through that sprint round of questions. A lot of fun little tidbits of information about you as an ultra cyclist. Glad to learn about that and would love to continue our conversation. But first, of course, not only are you an accomplished ultra cyclist yourself, but also you are the organizer of a brand new event that will be taking place in 2021 there in Poland. So why don't you tell us about the race around Poland? You did mention earlier, July 24th, 2021. So during the summertime there, 284 days remaining. How did the event come about? I mean, what motivated you to organize this event, and what is your vision for it?
Yeah, the idea coming from my participation in such races like Race Across America, Race Across Europe, Race Around Austria. I have met a lot of fantastic people, fantastic ultra cyclists, and I learned about team spirit during this races, and I love this category of ultra cycling. So this is supported ultra cycling, comparing to bikepacking or unsupported. Unsupported ultra cycling, which is the most popular category in Poland. We have about 1,000 ultra cyclists, but they are from this unsupported categories. We have about 20 ultra cycling events every year in Poland. So there are two different worlds. One is our Polish bikepacking scene, let's say, and the second are beautiful races in United States, Austria, Slovenia, Ireland, Swiss, and this West Europe, in let's say in general. So we would like to connect these two worlds and invite ultra cyclists from abroad to visit our beautiful country with beautiful mountains, lakes, and sea, and nature. And our the second issue is that by inviting ultra cyclists from abroad, we would like to give more ultra cycling to our Polish scene and to have space for talking, knowing each one cyclist with other, and to have more ultra cycling in Poland. So this is our idea.
Well,
that's why we have three solo categories. One is supported, one is semi-supported, and one is unsupported.
Yes, and I see that here on your website in addition to the price list, but it also just shows the different, well, distances and also the different categories. So you do have the main distance, which will cover a shorter distance, and then also there's the unsupported, semi-supported relay team, and it looks like you could even hire a support crew with vehicles. So that seems quite unique that you offer that. I'm not sure that I've seen that in other events. Have you ever seen that in another event, or perhaps there in Europe?
I have read about this in case of a race across Europe. You know, I started supported cycling 10 years ago. So during 10 years, I had experience of recruiting and team building of support crew. I know that is very important to have a built team, not only the set of very motivating people, because during such a long race, they had to be a team, real team. They had to cooperate one another to be successful in the race and to be a real support for the cyclist. I remember that when I was dreaming about Race Across America, I didn't like this idea that I have to have a team and have cars or something. I just wanted to cycle through United States. But understood that there is part of this challenge, of this dream. So I had to do this job, and I think I did it successfully. Now we have with my team a lot of experience about that. So if somebody would like to take participation and don't want to build the team, we have this experience and can share it.
Yeah, it's a very cool concept. I think it will make it much more accessible for people to sign up for your event, whether they're locally, but especially for international riders who want to come there but don't want to deal with the logistics of putting together a team, shipping them all over there, and having to deal with it. So very cool concept. Glad you're offering that. It seems like the vision that you have created for the event is very much so to be an international event that everyone from around the world can access, both in terms of the very well done website. I know you have a Facebook page as well and other social media, also with the support crew that you're able to offer. So very cool. And I'm excited to see the inaugural event kick off July of 2021. Now, let's get back to the race and specifically the actual route. So I'm looking here at your Ride with GPS map here with the route, and I see in the details, so in mile terms, 2,240 miles, about 100,000 feet of climbing. So quite a long event. Now, for those who know, of course, Race Across America is 3,000 miles. So this one isn't that much shorter than the Race Across America. So it is quite a challenging event. And we see here on the map, so Poland, of course, is up here on the northern end of Europe here. And of course, above Slovenia and Austria, and then you have Poland. And it looks like quite a large country. Now, of course, it's over 2,000 miles, and it does go all around. So why don't you tell me a bit about the route? Where does it start? I'd imagine it looks like it does end at the same place, and then kind of where do you go through, and what can people expect as they're riding through the whole country?
Yeah. The start line and the finish line is located in the capital of Poland, Warsaw. It's especially convenient for cyclists from abroad, because there is an airport, a lot of accommodation possibilities, and let's say quite good place for start and celebrating finish in the beautiful city with the rich history. So we started from the Warsaw and then go east to Ukrainian border, and then along Polish border and to the mountain. In Poland we have sea in the north and mountain in the south.
I see.
So after 600 kilometers, we started climbing, let's say. And there are not very high climbs, but it's up and down, up and down, up and down. So it's very interesting.
Yeah, looks
the
like
highest
it.
mountain is Tatra mountain. And you can see that it is tricky, because the Tatra mountain is very beautiful and have a set of very nice uphills. They are also used in pro cycling, in world tour event like Tour de Pologne for professional cyclists, and there are set of legendary uphills. So we use it here because this is not marathon. This is a real race, difficult race. This is not for everybody to finish the whole loop. I said this is a race for all, but around for the best. You know, the idea of this race is not that there is one time limit, and if you cannot achieve this time limit, you are unofficial or did not finish. This is like in running, there is Wings for Life, such an event. There is a technical car following racers and the speed of limit, let's say, and the limit is 400 kilometers per day. So you have to cycle 300 kilometers per day. 300 kilometers times 12 is 2,600 kilometers. But you don't have to achieve the whole round, the whole loop, to be in the classification. If you are a beginner in ultra cycling, you can achieve the beginning of mountains, the second checkpoint, and to have 600 kilometers, and you will be in the result table as you finished, as you achieved this second checkpoint. So there is no need to scratch. You just go in. For example, in the next year, you achieve a second checkpoint. It means 600 kilometers. Maybe in 2 years, you achieve 1,200 kilometers, and your finish line will be in the Tatra Mountains. Maybe in 3 years, you can achieve the whole loop. So this is challenging, and this is a connection of experienced cyclists with these ambitious amateurs who just start this adventure, and they are start in the same time and in Warsaw in the starting line and achieve their own finish line.
Very cool, Remek. It's a very innovative concept that you've put together. From what I could tell, it looks like you gathered from a lot of experience from other events, but not only other events, but also your own journey, your 9-year journey essentially, to accomplish the race across America, along the way competing in the race around Austria, the race across Europe, and many others. But you had the dream to do the race across America in 2006, from what we were discussing before the show. And of course, then you did the race across America in 2014. So it sounds like the way that you've structured your event, Race Around Poland, is mirroring exactly the journey that you took, just one step at a time, and from one distance to the next, one event to the next, as you built yourself up to the 3,000 miles of Race Across America. So that's very cool. And I'm excited that we're able to share the event with people, but also the story and the history behind it so they can appreciate it. And again, we were talking about how you've created and set up this event to be accessible for people internationally. But not only now, it sounds like you have to be a very strong or very accomplished ultra cyclist, but even if you only can do perhaps 500 kilometers, 1,000 kilometers, there is an opportunity for every ultra cyclist to participate in this event, which I think is very cool. Now, you did also mention one of the inspirations, which was the Wings for Life World Run. It's cool that you actually brought that up. I know it takes place all around the world. And in fact, I have participated in this event before, and my family has on a number of occasions. And nice. So how it works, there's the vehicle. So you start the event, now it's a run. And for those who don't know, you start, and the car, once everyone starts, begins driving at a set speed. And then, of course, once the car catches you, then you're done. You can't continue, and they'll take you back in the shuttle to the start-finish line. But of course, the goal is to run as fast as you can to do as much distance as possible. And I remember even when we weren't that fit in running anymore years ago, my brother accomplished about a marathon. And I think the person that got first place did about 30 or so miles, or about 50 kilometers. So very fun event. And so since I have that experience with the Wings for Life run, it makes me excited and to learn about the race around Poland, because I just know the fun feeling that you have as you're being chased almost by the vehicle. So
What is
sounds like,
interesting, I will be as an organizer in this technical vehicle. So I will
okay.
cheer everybody who will
Yeah.
have his own personal finish line
Oh,
on the way.
that's incredible. Very
So
cool.
it's
I look forward to very much following the event as it begins and seeing how everything goes, and just to hear the feedback from the participants, and also just to see how many people take your offer to participate in this interesting, innovative format. And I hope that other event organizers tuning into this show will think about adding this kind of structure into their own events, which I think will help the event just receive more participation as well, but then also really help build and develop the ultra cycling community, which it sounds like you're very much trying to do, especially for the local Polish riders, but then, of course, for anyone that would like to visit the beautiful country of Poland. I've not been there myself, but I have Googled here Warsaw, and I see some very incredible and beautiful architecture and photos. And so definitely looks like a place to not only enjoy a nice, difficult challenge sports wise, but also for a fun holiday.
yes, exactly. You can go with your family and start, and your family can enjoy the Warsaw in
Yeah.
the touristic way, and you will be in 8, maybe 10 days back
Right.
and join your family.
Yeah. Very cool. And you did mention, of course, in the route, there are a lot of mountains. I'd imagine in the mountains, there's some very nice views. I'm sure the scenery, the environment is very beautiful. And going back to the route, you were talking about it, you start in Warsaw, just about over here on the eastern side of Poland. And then you come down, and then it looks like from about, well, as you mentioned, it's about 500 kilometers or so, about 280 miles, 300 miles. You really begin climbing a lot through these mountains here on the southern border, southern end of Poland, and you're climbing a lot up and down until a final descent, about 1,200 or so miles. So you're doing a significant amount of climbing. And so it looks like the way that it's structured, it's you just need to kind of get through this first third or this first half of the race, and then the rest of it looks like it's quite a bit more enjoyable and a little easier on the legs, perhaps.
Yes, but in the second part of the way, there are beautiful lakes. This
Mm,
is Mazuria,
mhm,
Mazure, and a lot of lakes, thousand lakes, and
mm.
this is not flat. This is again up and down, and it's beautiful. This year I participate in the very nice event in Mazuria.
Right.
This is Pierścień Tysiąca Jezior in Polish.
Mm.
So this is the ring of thousand lakes. It's
Wow. Sounds
beautiful,
spectacular.
nice climate. Uh, it's team spirit and a lot of very nice cyclists. Very good event. So
Mm.
this Mazuria will be in the second part of our race.
Ah, cool. I did a quick Google search here, and I did find on the visitpoland.com website, Land of a Thousand Lakes, Masurian. Very cool. So people could check that out. And I guess that would be something exciting to look forward to on the event. And also, of course, as you discussed, the end of the ride, or at least the back end, it does also go on the northern border. And so you get some of, what is this? Is this the Baltic Sea?
Baltic Sea, Baltic Sea, yes.
Ah, I see. Very nice. Sure, it must be very beautiful there along the coastline.
Yes, exactly.
And then as you finish up, let's see, for around here towards the end of the Baltic Sea, it's about 1,700 miles into the event. And so then from there, you'll have about another 500 miles as you're going back inland here along other bordering countries until finally you finish this this clockwise loop. You end back at the start finish line in Warsaw. So after a nice grueling 2,240 miles, 100,000 feet of climbing, we'll see who's able to claim victory and accomplish the first ever race around Poland. Very exciting.
Exactly. I hope this is the next year. This is the first edition, but I think about this in the long term perspective. I hope that we will organize this event for the next 10 or even 12 years. So this is not just one shot, but something which I think will be the legend of Polish ultra cycling event. We work very hard by the organization of it and give the heart to this idea and concept. I hope this is something original because of this categories and concept of many distances and individual distance for the every participant. So I think it will be successful. We have also cooperation with Polish, the biggest Polish private television, and in this television will be daily reports, and also we cooperate with Eurosport Poland, and now in Eurosport there are Giro, Tour de France, and so on, but there is no ultra cycling events. But people from this station are very excited about this event and would like to put something new, something fresh to this TV channel. And we hope it will be very successful cooperation.
Yeah, that sounds exciting and incredible that for the inaugural event that you have so much organized and it'll get a lot of news coverage as well. So a great reason for people to participate, to get that exposure, and also to enjoy what I'm sure is a beautiful course that you've put together. And it is cool, a very original format that you've put together, very innovative. And I'm excited to see how many people participate and the different distances that everyone is able to accomplish. It sounds like an event that literally hundreds, if not thousands of people, cyclists from around the world could sign up for and participate in, and to enjoy and see as a challenge, like you said, from one year to the next, to see how far they can go. And I know just having that cat and mouse chase feeling with the vehicle coming behind you makes it very fun, just like the Wings for Life run every year. So I look forward to following that myself. Now, of course, you do have a Facebook page, and I'm sure other social media that people can like and follow along to stay up to date with everything going on and other announcements. Of course, the website racearoundpoland.pl that people can visit to get more information, to see photos, to also see the pricing, and to also register. And so I encourage everybody to do that. It sounds like an incredible event, and I'll have to consider coming out myself to enjoy this route and this event and the fun challenge. And of course, on your website, going back there, if folks go there to the race tab under main information, of course, you can see the race route, the rules, price list, start list, regulations. You can learn all about it, the different distances. Of course, you could race solo or as a team. Now, something that I wanted to learn from you about, Remek, is what is the semi-supported category? We're familiar with unsupported. It's almost like bike packing. Supported, race across America, race around Austria or others where you have a crew and, perhaps 2 or 3 cars if you're solo, 8 to 12 people. What does semi-supported mean?
Yeah. I see this concept last year in race across Europe, when the one participant had limited support. So standard support, for example, in race across America or race around Austria, consists of 2 cars and about 7 to 11 people. But it's quite big support from organization and from financial point of view. So you can start in semi-supported category and has one supporting car with 2 or 3 people. So this is something between. This is this connection between something in the middle, between supported ultra cycling and unsupported. I think it might be good for example, for Polish cyclists from economical point of view.
Okay, so if you're riding solo, but now you have a much smaller support team, what is there to supplement or help them, given that they have a small team? Is there something that you as the organizer provides to them along the route to assist?
If you are in the category unsupported, you just have this checkpoints, 12 checkpoints, and the checkpoints are located in the hotels with restaurants. So there is for time measuring, but also you can accommodate there and have a shower or buy something to eat. So this is for everybody. When you have limited support with one car, it looks like leapfrog. So it's not it's not a good idea to follow every time constantly the cyclist, because it's too tiring for support crew. Right. The support crew is more tired in this set than cyclists, so they usually do leapfrog and meet the cyclists from time to time and give them drinks and food and around accommodation for the night, for example. In case of supported cycling, of course, pace car, just following cyclists, and RV is like a leapfrog. Right. Every 8 hours or something, there is a meeting with the cyclist, and he can sleep, get a shower, or have a massage.
Right. Those who aren't familiar with ultracycling formats, so you were talking about leapfrog and essentially a direct follow. And so what you're offering is an unsupported, semi-supported, and fully supported, where you relax the constraints of how many vehicles and crew members are required. So whereas perhaps other races may require that you have a minimum of 2 vehicles, you're saying in the semi-supported, you're giving people the option of only using the 1 vehicle and a minimum of only 2 members. So that is pretty cool. I mean, considering that in bikepacking or the unsupported division, I mean, there is no support. So it does make sense to be able to offer this more cost-effective solution for people. So it is, again, another cool, innovative idea that you've brought into this event to make it broadly accessible. Now, again, so for those who don't know, in the direct follow mode, one of the vehicles is following right behind the racer. And typically, like in a race like the Race Across America, it's usually between the evening times to the early morning when it's dark outside for visibility, safety, and all those other reasons. And then, of course, during the daytime, you switch now to a leapfrog operation where rather than falling directly behind a rider, you'll go ahead of the rider, perhaps a mile or two, or however long they decide as part of their strategy. The rider will pass, either stop there or just grab a bottle in passing, and then the vehicle may wait there for a little bit and then again go past the cyclist and wait somewhere else again. And so that is for those who aren't familiar. Now, for those who only speak in kilometers and meters, which is most of the world really, it is 3,554 kilometers and 33,111 meters. So again, about 2,200 miles and about 100,000 feet of climbing. So a challenging event, definitely not an easy one, but the way that you've structured it, it doesn't have to be that full distance. Now, is there any minimum distance that is required to be on the finish results? 100 kilometers, 500 kilometers?
300 kilometers. So
Okay.
first checkpoint. If you achieve first checkpoint on the border with on the Ukrainian border in the city, beautiful city Hrubieszów, you will be in the result table among other cyclists.
Okay. Very cool. And then will your finish distance, will that only be in increments of the different checkpoints? So you have to make it to that one in order to have, say, okay, 300 kilometers, now 700 kilometers or 900, or is it any distance wherever you finish?
No, it's just this checkpoints counts.
Okay.
So on the top on the table, there will be cyclists who finish the whole loop, 12 checkpoints, and they will be sorted by time of finishing. Yeah, just below them, there will be cyclists who achieved 11th checkpoint and sorted by the time of finishing, and so on. And on the bottom of the table, there will be those from one checkpoint, and of course sorted by this. But the time limit for this first checkpoint is 24 hours. So this is not very demanding,
right?
Especially that the first part of the way is flat. And usually with the supporting wind, because we have the more winds in Poland are from west to the east. So when you start from Warsaw, you have good wind on your back. So
nice.
it's supporting. But then after 300 kilometers, there is a way in direction to the mountain, and beautiful Bieszczady mountain. It's outstanding. It was my beautiful place to visit when I was studying, and were going with my friends, walking through the mountain and climbing. So I like Bieszczady mountains very, very much.
Yeah, nice.
They are beautiful. They are beautiful colors because they are a different kind of trees. Every tree has his own green or yellow or red color. So you have to see it.
Just a little bit more about you yourself so people can get to know who the organizer is of the Race Around Poland. Now, we have already discussed some of the race across America and the race around Europe, the race around Austria, and you've done a lot in the last, well, I guess now it's been quite a while, 16 years since you started your journey to the race across America, 6 years since your race across America, and I'm sure many other events in between. Why don't you just tell us what motivates you to keep doing all that you're doing as a cyclist yourself in training and competing? what is motivating you as an ultra cyclist?
I think that the first is that I do what it's origin from my heart. So I recognized in myself that I like cycling. But at the beginning, I did mountain bike cycling.
Yeah.
After some years, I realized that I like long distance. But in Poland, there was no very long mountain bike events. So I switched from MTB to the road bike and recognized that longer event is I am more happy if I if I ride the bike instead of sleeping. I am more happy. So I decided to find the suitable races for me, and I find out that this race across America is just for me, and this is my place, my second home of living. So.
Right.
Coming back to the question, this is recognition. What is my passion? What origin from my heart? And the second issue, also very important, is establishing the objective, the target, which will be ambitious and maybe a little bit scary. So when I thought about in the past, when I thought about race across America, it was really scary because desert, a lot of mountains, temperatures from 5 to 50. Before the race, I was really nervous, and fortunately, I have in the team my mental coach Michał, and also my brother Jarek, who organize everything else instead of cycling. Yeah, so
cool.
And the rest of team. So I had the time for preparing mentally. But
Yes.
But coming back to the question, this scary objectives, yes, it's something what motivates me, and I am very attached to this. But it's also coming from my heart. Yeah, maybe there are people who are different, yeah? and they don't need very big challenges to have a happy life. Yeah. So the most important thing is to follow the passion, to follow the dreams, and this motivates me.
Yeah, very important to be passionate about what you're doing, especially if it's long distances. There's many hours and many kilometers on the bicycle and on the saddle to be able to accomplish these very big challenges. And so you enjoy challenges, and I think we all share that as ultra cyclists. We like being able to set big audacious goals and actually figure out how to make them happen, not just again physically in training for them to get to the start line, but as you mentioned and as you've learned through all the years in your preparations, mentally preparing, and then of course even putting together the crew and having a quality one, because the crew can definitely win or lose the race if they're not prepared. So I'm curious for yourself, what is still on your bucket list of events that you would like to do as a cyclist yourself? And will you ride a race around Poland one day?
Yes, why not? But not at the first edition, because this is very important to me to have race very well organized. So I don't, I cannot be just the organizer and participant in the same time. Yeah. So maybe in some years when the race will be very well established with the history and experienced team of organizers,
Right.
probably I will try to participate in
Yeah.
it. But my dream is still, and I still think about race across America, to be back
Yeah.
there and improve my results, so be faster than 11 days, 19 hours and 33
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah, most definitely. Now, is there a certain time that you would like to target and that big challenge that you would like to accomplish on your next time here in the Race Across America?
um, I don't know. This is now I think mostly about organization of race around Poland, and
Mm.
don't want to put the pressure for my future result of race across America, because for now I need the one clear
Yes.
target to organize the best ultra cycling event in Poland, and to have very satisfied and happy athletes, ultra cyclists from abroad,
Yeah,
uh,
that's great.
competing with this event, and competing with our Polish ultra cyclists, who are also very, very good.
Yeah. Yeah, I could imagine it would be great to see what happens, who signs up, and what kind of competition you'll have. I'm sure they'll put on a good show for everyone. And of course, you will have a lot of coverage of the event. So it will be fun to follow along. A couple more questions just about yourself as an ultra cyclist. I'm wondering, in your training, what does your training routine look like week to week? How much are you training? What do you
Mhm.
like doing for your workouts?
It depends on uh, the the stage of macro planning.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's different in off season and different in the summer, but it's from 10 hours to 20-25 hours per week. And this is not only cycling, outdoor and indoor, but also gym
Mm.
and power training and strength training,
Yeah.
also core and massage, sauna, relaxation,
Mm. Now,
and also mental exercises.
hmm. Do you have a coach?
Yes, yes, I have
Yeah.
very good
Oh,
coach, cycling coach,
yes.
who is UCI certified, and he also work with other ultra cyclists. So I am in
Mm.
the good hands.
Oh, very good. So you'll definitely be able to make some good results for all of your future events. Very nice to hear. Now, what do you like to do for mental training?
Mainly relaxation, because
Mm.
I have a lot of things to do during a day, work and
Mm.
training and family life. So I have not much time for sleeping. So
Yeah.
I use this relaxation
Techniques.
techniques, yes,
Yeah.
for speeding up this
Okay.
and
Yeah, it must be quite a challenge, and I can only imagine in organizing such a large scale event, the race around Poland, there must be many parts to that, a lot of volunteers and organizers that have to help, and many details to work with the local cities and towns, and also just the route, all the logistics. And so I wish you all the best with all that planning. I can imagine with everything else you have in your life, it keeps you very busy. So tell me a little bit about your support team, your at home, your family, your friends, cyclists that you ride with. How do you find support to be able to balance all of your life?
Yes. Yes, I think the key to be successful in sport, especially in amateur sport, is the balance between roles you have in the life. Yeah? So in my case, this is this professional life and my family life and ultra cycling.
Mm.
Yes, and my method for this is not to have prioritization that something is the most important and something is less important, because in this case, the most important role will kill the other. Yeah.
Right.
So my method is to uh, care about uh, every of this free part of my life and
Mm.
try to use one to support the second. For
Mm.
example, uh, when I am after training, I am more happy, and this feeling I can uh, give to my family life. So I am
Mm.
happier, and we are happy as a family. Uh, when I am successful in my professional work, I have finance to finance my ultra cycling life. Uh, and of course, when I am my profession is data scientist. I
Mm.
have a project in machine learning, artificial intelligence, but this is very difficult to explain my 11 years daughter what is machine learning. But it's very simple to explain, and there is nothing to explain. She just see what's ultra cycling, and
Right.
she is happy when I go to her school, and I am the guest and can uh, talk to the class about
Ah,
cycling, and then engage them in such activities. So
that's fun.
so that's my method to balance the role, and what is very important, not to be uh, very too much engaged in the one of them. Uh,
Mm.
for example, sometimes there are people who starting training and they are just
Mm.
lost in this. So this is
Right.
not. I don't want to be like them. I want to be happy in my all role, and would like have my family happy.
Yeah, that's very important. And it is cool that you're able to find that balance. And it is important to you to balance all three of those priorities in your life. Again, it's a great achievement for you to be able to do that while also reaching for very audacious goals as an ultra cyclist yourself, but also in putting together what I'm sure will be one of the premier ultra cycling events in Europe and perhaps in the whole world, and definitely there in Poland. So well done with all of that. And I couldn't agree more that ultra cycling definitely supports the rest of our lives as ultra cyclists, it sharpens us. And it is important to get on the bike, de-stress, disconnect, and even just thinking. And I'm sure on the bike, you're thinking a lot about all of your machine learning and data science problems and also all the work you have to do. But at the same time, also unplugging and thinking about family life and also just enjoying being a cyclist and enjoying what I'm sure is a beautiful country there in Poland. So thanks for sharing all of that. Couple more questions as we finish here. Remek, very glad to have you on the show, and it's been such a pleasure. Now, I just wonder, what do you think most people don't realize about ultra cycling? There's so many facets to it. We've discussed many of them. What do you think are things that people, maybe your friends, maybe some of your family who aren't very familiar with what ultra cycling really is, what do you think they don't realize?
Maybe one very important thing is that ultra cycling is not individual sport. It's
Hmm.
what I said. It demands physical strength and mental strength, but also team building. And I think every kind of sport is team sport. So this is crucial to have good team around you, and not only athletes, but also friends, family, and to have good environment. And you have to support them, and they will support you. Because the passion attracts people. When I some years ago, I did my first 100 kilometers, then 200, then 400 kilometers in one stage, and from the beginning, the people just look, it's something strange. But when I did 1,000 kilometers, it was something interesting, and they joined me. Some of them join for cycling, but some join for helping, for supporting, for crewing, and or make marketing around this, or helping attract sponsors. Yeah, so it looks like every kind of sport is team sport, and if you do something alone, is more difficult to do it. But if you have a good company, it's easier and better.
Yeah, well said, Remek. Very true that ultra cycling really is, even if you're not in a relay team, even as a solo racer, it is very much a team sport. And I like what you said, that if you support them, they'll support you. And I think that is very true, and something that we all as ultra cyclists have to take to heart, that the people that do support us, whether it's on a crew or just our family or friends around at home, that it is important to take the time to appreciate what they do for us, to allow us to do all that we do, training at the gym, training on the bike, going out and riding. So very well said. And I'm sure everyone that's watching will be able to take that with them to help them balance their own life as well as you have. And of course, even with the balancing that you're doing, even with supporting your team, you're able to do so much. And so it just goes to show that, like you said, you don't have to sacrifice one priority over the next. It is very much possible, of course, a balancing act. Now, final question I have for you, Remek. It's been many years since you've been an ultra cyclist. You've done a lot, and now you're even starting your own ultra event. Who has inspired you personally? It could be an ultra cyclist, it doesn't necessarily have to be, but who has been a kind of a mentor and inspiration for you that keeps you excited and keeps you hungry for more challenges?
I think this is not something new to the audience. I am inspired a lot by Christoph Strasser, and I like reading his book, and also we send emails, and I have a very good support from him, and I am happy from every email I got from Christoph, and it counts very, very much.
Very cool. Yeah, and it is nice how close knit the ultra cycling family is across even the world, here in America and there in Europe, and just how so many of us know one another. And so it's great to connect with you, Remek, and it's very nice to discuss the inaugural race around Poland, which is taking place in 2021. I hope people enjoyed this show and this time with you. Thank you for taking the time to share your experiences as an ultra cyclist, and as well as the event that you're putting on. Very nice photo of you here in closing, so folks can know who you are, and the kind of event that you're putting on, I'm sure will be great because you're an ultra cyclist. And so you yourself, I'm sure when you were putting together the race around Poland, took all that in mind to make sure that not only would it be a beautiful route, but also a very challenging one. So I'm sure we can count on you for that. So thank you very much, Remek, for being on the show today. look forward to having you back on the show, and then also having other participants and racers from the event next year on the show to hear from them about their experience with the first edition of Race Around Poland.
Yeah, thank you very much, Justin, for inviting me to this ultra cycling show. I think this is a very good initiative from your side, because it's something new also, and I am happy that from time to time I can watch these videos thanks to you, and again, thank you very much, and thank you to you and to the audience for watching our conversation. And of course, welcome to the Poland, and you are inviting, and I think we will meet in Warsaw next year for Race Around Poland.
Yes, we look forward to that. So thank you for putting together the event. We'll take a look at the website, find a nice category for ourselves to do, and sign up and see you there in Warsaw, Poland. So thanks again, Remek. And thank you everyone for tuning in today for this nice episode with Remek. And I hope that you'll take a look at the Race Around Poland, check them out on their website, on their social media, on Facebook. And we hope to see you there. So until our next episode and time together, everyone keep spinning ultra.